Okay, let's see if this thing's going to actually work anytime today. I thought I'd also bring the sub count up as we're near 3,000 real 3,000 real subscribers. Thought I'd put the points out because you know what some people are like. We'll see if we can get some more people joining first. People on and off like a light switch. Hello, Damien. I assume many will pop on the next couple of minutes and we'll get started. And then watching the VOD back will be up because you're waiting for about half an hour for the thing to actually start. Mind you, these things never go well anyway, do they? Stream goal. Can we change the 2995 to 3000 before we switch off in possibly 10 minutes time? Now that is a challenge. Hey Trainson. Hello everybody joining and popping on, hello and what have you. Is this about crew you're saying, Richard? Well, we'll end up seeing what we end up yakking about. It could be crew, it could be anything. It could be a cancellation notice. It could be an amendment. 5 fake? Oh, good God, don't talk about fake accounts. Many people do that anyway. That's why I find some of these pages with like, what, 3,000 videos? Still only toppling 200 subscribers. And 190 of them are themselves. Usually, anyway. The train ticket, I suppose. Oh, that's rude. Right, well, basically, whilst you're here, is there anything you need finalised for crew? Is there anything that you'll hear for the event but not quite sure on? Let's get that sorted now. Got my chat's a bit behind on there. You'll sort out platforms and that in a moment. Because I don't know whether we'll be the typical person and stay at one end of the station or both. We might split it group-wise. So depending on the amount of attendees, we might split it. Half Chester and Liverpool side, the rest the southern side, through to Shrewsbury, London and Birmingham. No, we might just figure it out on the day, in some live posts on Twitter or something. I think we might reinstate the hashtag we used last time as well. Although, of course, we might not. we might just leave the hashtags abandoned. But we'll see what happens. Like I said in the last stream, which I think I removed, I might just stick a poll out sometime tomorrow and get like some sort of yes or no response to attendees. But then, of course, it might not be worth it. It might be 300% no, but then it'll be lying. You can't trust everything you see on the internet. And you certainly can't trust word of mouth. Which side of 5, though, Transome? Northern end or southern end? Because I don't even think we've actually got any freight due through during the 2 hours we're there. I don't think there's nothing going anyway. There'll probably be cancellations. There'll probably be a late action strike. We know what the world's like. As currently it's the RMT versus the Royal Ascot, and they're losing. Do you know what day is it falling on? Pull a calendar up. It might help you in later life as well. Even that was spam, we'll let it through the system. If you think that then, Link Zelda, you try and board a train this weekend, heading out towards Ascot and Martin's Errand. You're not going to fit on. Because, of course, as a reduced timetable and the reduced amount of crew actually bothering, which is actually quite low for a crew that's not bothering, because yesterday's stats was every 1 in 3 conductors was still clocking on and working. Yet the RMT claims the ballot was 425 to strike. Yet 1 in 3 of your 900 current positions is not over 50%. Yeah, there was a bit of that on Twitter. Are we still alive? Because we know how temperamental this website is. In comes the timeouts. Behave or by Felicia. Incorrect. Oh, yeah. That's 12 PM. Come on, 3 more. Now 4 more. Or, of course, let's just keep bloody trolling. Because that's the internet these days. I would just do another crew-focused stream, but then there'd be nobody anyway. Because I am, of course, thinking of just saying, no, fuck it. Mind you, it could be the right thing. I don't know whether you toxic races are. I think they've just gone. Do they usually do a weekend thing? I'll do a Google. Oh, hey, Ben. I've been meaning to contact you, but I haven't bothered. I don't know why. Just me, I suppose. Let's have a look. Yeah, there is a do on. So that's going to go very well. That still wouldn't be the best idea, though, would it, Train Sim? Let's be perfectly flipping honest. Because your Doncaster didn't work. There's no 2 minute Milton Keynes due to driver shortage, I think, today. Yeah, what will affect your Toxic this weekend is an antiques fair. So what I'm expecting there, of course, is a single carriage train on the Derby to Crewe via Stoke, and no additional carriages. Yeah, I wasn't going to bother either, to be honest, Train Sim, but I did in the end. What we got here? Right, the Antiques Fair at Uttoxeter Racecourse starts at 10, finishes at 4. Right. We'll be travelling in the thick of that in one direction. Wonderful. If it's a single carriage, I want to know why. I thought I saw a message by screen recorder, but it's not showing anything. It's supposed to be on a spot mix, but that's gone to Burton, hasn't it? Since he said he's gone to Itis and started praying to the invisible man in the sky with his screen recorder, it's been popping up every other day. And there goes all the Christians and all the religious people. Oh dear. If this was real life, I'd be shot. Let's be honest. That's only on Roblox. I thought that was permanently dead. Rest in peace. Lack of screen recorder. Yeah, there's 3 boxes at Kilmarnock for Scott Rail, isn't there? Still 305. 70 and 77. Oh, well, if I get that this week, then that's a positive, isn't it? A 153 to 2 158. So that'll be 5 carriages. Because for me, like a Meridian down there would be like resourceful, but it wouldn't really work on behalf of like trying to get a shot of each station's sign on the way down. Because the train would be a bit higher, which might then put me a bit too high to get a decent photograph. I want to use HST. I don't think there's any ever been routed between Derby and Stoke. Then that's the problem there, of course. Unit knowledge, route retention, and whether the unit's ever been done there. Because like it's the same question of diverting it, say, what, a Pendolino, for example, and drag it. If there happens to be something near Stone, they couldn't bring any Pendolino up to Derby and throw it back through Tamworth to Birmingham because the unit's never been down for a start, so it wouldn't work. I'll just sod off on AB trains. Bye, Felicia. Well, they are, but aren't using the 91 sets. They are, but they aren't. There's now 3 there's no 4 off lease and 2's made a move. We've got BN05 and BN24 are waiting to go to Worksop to join BN23 and 26. East Midlands train service to 1 of 2. There's no 12:56 departure ever off Crewe for East Midlands. That'd be a Virgin from Chester, which would be a 5-car Voyager, of course. I don't know if that's resourceful, or whether that'd be crowded by default. Signalling problems at Watford earlier. It's always Watford. Trespass turned into fatality, followed by trespass the day later, then signalling problems a few days afterwards. Scottish Borders has got rubbish these days. I popped on earlier for a quick see what's changed. good God, no. I thought it was a completely different game. Thought I'd entered the wrong game. Due to overcrowding, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised with these Midlands and overcrowding. It's like, look at the Ascot race trains this week. South Western wanted additional carriage and all that for safety purposes with additional services. Union says, no, we're pulling out. Talk about being absolutely pretty useless. If fighting for safety is overcrowding trains during a major event, then you need a right fuck. You need to fuck off and buy Felicia. Good God, blimey. Like, if that is safety, deliberately overcrowding a service because you're not letting them run more carriages, then what is the actual meaning of safety if it is that? It just doesn't work. It's stupid. There should be a loss in privileges for a safety breach. Like, there was multiple on the Victoria line due to industrial action, last year? Multiple safety breaches on the Victoria line. Multiple. You'd never seen a platform so busy. They were even busier than, say, imagine what? Waterloo, completely full to the brim from ticket barriers to the top of the platform with passengers. Victoria line was even busier than that during that industrial. Even busier. I didn't think it was humanly possible. Yeah, imagine the whole of Waterloo's platforms covered in passengers, but on the Victoria line. Of course, they're not relevant to each other, but that's just for general comparison. It's just stupid. You know, $2. Someone's rear end makes noises. Sometimes it's needed, yes, but not during major events where you're risking passenger safety over yourself. Because that's not logic. That's just deficiency, defiance, and stupidity. Which all three words mean the same thing. No. Let's get this to 3k, then we can bugger off. And you've got 2 to go. And let's not count the ends till they've hatched. And let's not count on crew happening until we get there. So Eastern Might, that's why they got, what, the 3rd extension on the franchise? 4th? It's either 3 or 4 extensions they've had now on that franchise. They're still doing it properly, most of the time. And of course, they're not constantly derailed by, oh, there's a major event on this line, isn't there? Should we withdraw labour and deliberately ruin it to kill passengers? Yes. No! Don't be stupid. Now let's think about it in a proper mindset. If by chance a passenger is injured as a result of a crowded train during this Ascot strike, who's actually liable? The operator for planning additional services, or the union members for withdrawing the labour, ensuring there's less carriages and less services? Let's think about it for a moment. Which party's actually liable? The group that's enforced less carriages and less seats, or the group that wanted more and more? Who's actually liable? Because that is a question. It's not even a trick question, because I've not got an answer properly for it yet. It's just back and forth between, well, union and some arsehole who doesn't know the difference. Saying, oh yeah, blame the operator who wanted more seats, but blame them for crowding. It's not logical. You're just fucking stupid. Well, I'll get banned for that shortly with the new regulations coming in. Yeah, but the point there, though, Link Zelda, is the operator wanted additional carriages and services. They already planned it. They already bidded for the route. So you can't actually pin it down to them, can you? Because they wanted to prevent all of this to a T. So, like, in the eyes of the passengers, they're not directly at fault because they wanted to halt all of this additional disruption and possible liability for injuries. Now, of course, they need to get the labour, but 2 in 3 guards are pulled out. Because no doubt they're attending the thing themselves anyway. Couldn't they just called in sick instead of saying, oh, I'm pulling in labour, just crowed a train out? Just call in sick. It's only a couple of days. You could get a couple of days break. There's nowhere that I've heard of that you can't get a couple of days off every so often, as long as it runs in your holiday. So there'd be no need to pull industrial just to go to a race. I heard about that with East Midlands, yeah. But then, of course, is Merseyrail shoving themselves silly with a full 6-carriage fleet most of the time. And that wasn't so bad for Aintree, even though that was, of course, the based area, which could have caused the most problems. They could get all these sort of things, but let's be honest, they're not that clever, are they? If safety is severe overcrowding, then what the fuck isn't safety? Chopping your head off with a knife? They do talk some bloody rubbish. Right, who's still here that is supposed to be attending the weekend? Let's get that sorted whilst we're here. Then we'll leave this public. Of course, I'm not slamming Merseyrail. I said they put 6-carriage trains on throughout most of Aintree, didn't they? Whereas everyone else is short form because either they've not got the staff or they've not got the units. But then, of course, is Merseyrail practically running driver only anyway because they have the stock and the training and the staff. Nobody else does. Yeah, cross countries are weird as well, but that's because there's next to no stock anyway. Mind you, that wouldn't really explain why you send an HST to Paynton but a Voyager to Newquay. Is the gauging issues down Newquay? Have they ever sent an HST to Newquay? They have, haven't they? Of course they have. Yeah, exactly, Trenton, that's the point. They're managing perfectly fine since they said bugger off to other proposals. They've been perfectly fine throughout. People flying off as training say Arsenal fans, not surprising at all on this network. It would be easy to get a jetpack and just flipping fly to your destination. You won't be squashed. You won't take ill because of crowding. And you probably won't be bloody shoved out the way. The funny bit there, though, Train Sim, of course, where you mentioned, of course, they're just pleased to have had an old check to the 777s. There is actually no 777s even ready for training yet. So what you try to say there isn't even in force. And the 507, 508s, they practically operate driver only anyway, because that's how they were set up to begin with. I don't think they've had any modifications since they were brought in. So they've likely been driver only stock since what? 70s? Or is that thinking too far afield? But they've been ready since day one. They're ready to go. You know about that, Paul Skellen? It's because the Ascot's on. You got to target a major event and not get any attention paid to you. Yeah, but again, point there, Train Sim. If it's not even on the line at all, then they've pleased nobody because nothing's happened to it. It's not there. Mind you, I was looking at some pictures on board trains earlier from the Ascot and at stations. Most trains were going to be overformed, say each 4 would be 12. Then you've got platforms even at Surbiton, completely full of the platform, like I was on about the Victoria Line and Waterloo. Platforms completely full of passengers, 4-carriage train, because the rest of the stock can't operate because the crew isn't there. That's safety logic in 2019. I don't understand it, I've never understood it, and I never will because it's just stupidity. Of course it's silly, but they swear blind, oh, we've got public support and we don't need any attention. Well, you're doing it for attention. So don't be so bloody stupid. It's for attention and you're losing. Which is why you come back for more. After verbally agreeing last time on every news outlet possible that you would end it. You did for like, what, 2 months and you're back again like a sore thumb. You're back like a standard child with no disability that keeps falling over or walking into a street post every day. But then there's nothing actually wrong with them. It's an odd comparison, but that's exactly how this battle looks. They're just walking into a street post all the time. Your Windermere was completely suspended because that wasn't picking up revenue during it anyway, and there wasn't enough buses. And the not enough buses being, of course, the company operating them on behalf of the rail operator couldn't spare any more. That's when West Coast came in to lose even further money. Then Oxenholme to Windermere. Then, of course, was all these people saying, just hand it to West Coast. You're not going to make any money, and it won't end up being for safety whatsoever. Because you've got your trains where you can yank window down, you get yourself decapitated by a passing tree. Hey, South Coast. Logic goes amiss, and we're all just stupid. Which is a very accurate statement for this year. We're near the end of June, and we've learnt absolutely sod all. Well, what else do people want to bring up, or should we focus more on the final plan for the weekend so that's done with and out the way? Well, of course you'd agree, South Coast. Most people would that aren't stupid. West Coast had no choice to come back again during the May bank holiday because the line was blocked at Lancaster and Carlisle. So no other stock could have got Roan, and only Roan Carnforth was open to run the line. So there's no other run that could have happened, because Northern could not have got their stock there whatsoever, because of the line block both sides. So that was non-preventable. Because, of course, engineering work is planned at least 14 months in advance. Now, this most recent King's Cross closure that's planned would have been planned very early last year, if even beforehand. But then you'll get, when it happens, this wasn't advertised when I booked. What, you book 4 years in advance or something? Tickets are only available 6 weeks in advance. Engineering work is up to 14 months. Don't be bloody stupid. There's posters everywhere. You'll get advertisements through the tannoy, on the television, in the paper. You can't bloody miss it. What do you want done? Screamed in your face as you go and book your tickets? Good God. Yeah, the point I made there, though, Train Sim, about the windows, was if the vegetation's not cut, you open the window, put your head out, and get yourself decapitated. Then, of course, no one's liable for the blame because it would essentially be unsafe rolling stock and coaching stock. So it wouldn't really fall into anybody except the train crew and you. So in a safety mindset, the stock isn't. So yes, it was deemed acceptable for the runs, but any time after this year, there won't be, due to the windows. Yeah, there'll be some diversions via Cambridge August 24-25, most trains starting to remain in Peterborough, with very few running round. It's like I said, Richard, these things are always advertised in advance. Ticket sales are only available 6 weeks in advance. Engineering work is well over a year. You cannot miss it. They warn you all the time, Train Sim. Like the one that's done engineering work at Derby way back when, way last year I think, the ticket machine at Newark still mentioned that my route may be affected by replacement transport, but I went on a cross-country round anyway, so it didn't affect me. But the warning was still there. And you are verbally told at a booking window as well. So you can't miss it. Just on that though, Bradley, the bit where you say the driver didn't say anything about it, it might have been a very, very last minute. You never know. That could have been planned ahead, but that could have literally been the on the day sort of thing, like you used to see on the buses. Now, way back on that show, when they had the road up on the ice street and all that, there was only mention on the day. Only. Before and after, nothing else mentioned about it. Even though it was probably over several days, it was only mentioned on the first day of when the work started, not prior. Then, in that sense, how was your bus driver supposed to know anyway if it was literally just handed to them as they left the bus station? It wouldn't work. Nobody would know. But yeah, get the bit about staff don't help themselves. Either they don't, or they don't have the information at the time that you request. And of course there they would, but like I say, it might have been very late notice for the driver as well, and he was more focusing on the diversion route than actually telling the passengers what was happening. Welcome to 3000. Our next job is figure out a full-on plan for Crewe and Stoke and get us some sort of lengthy video from both locations. But I don't know how we're going to work that exactly though. Because of course what we've got is 2 hour Crewe, about just over an hour at Stoke. But then of course we've got to think disruption level. As if the RMT comes out tomorrow and then shouts, "Oh, we're pulling Northern again." Well, you can't because it has to be 48 hours prior at the most. And 2, you can't handle 15,000 different strikes at the same time. So there you go. But we've got to consider London North Western, haven't we, today? With the terminating of Milton Keynes and Northampton. That might go wrong and pull our train off Crewe. Then we'd have to be on the East Midlands Stone and lose 10 minutes, which isn't bad. But the only reason I want to get the London North Western is so I don't need to call it Longport twice. Because that's logical. If you don't need to call somewhere twice, you can fast through it on return. Except though, of course, the London North Western would still call it Alsager, Kidsgrove and... It's something that way. Oh, Kidsgrove and Alsager. So yeah, I'd miss one stop, but I'd still call the rest twice. Yeah, you're not well sometime in July, aren't you? And you ain't like got it, but then to think about when you're coming back around here again. Because it's a shame though, you've no completely missed the Cotton Power Station line, as that's semi-officially no closed. It was on a closure period before the last train ran, but they wanted to get this last one through before completely saying, yep, that's it, we're done with coal. But then it goes back to the Conservative Party. We haven't used coal in X, Y and Z days. But why are trains still running to power stations with coal? Morons. Very specifically, trains to me's Cardiff, I think. He's still over at Cardiff. I don't know where the Art of England covers, so won't be able to argue with that whatsoever. Oh yeah, Scunthorpe British Steel, that essentially is closing. And that's due to Brexit. You can't say it isn't, because otherwise they wouldn't have gone. Or they wouldn't be going. I'll just stop moving, Bradley. 1 week you're in Southampton, the next you're in Cheltenham, then Cardiff, then Cheltenham. Stop moving. I'll have to glue your feet to the floor. Yeah, it is a shame you missed the Cotton line, though. I was going to arrange a group run there way before the closure, but that never happened, did it? Most things never do. But Crew could unlock that door. And then one day in the next couple of years, there might be a very long shot. And I'll clear a couple between Crewe and Shrewsbury. Maybe. No set date, 'cause it might not happen. It's like me saying, oh yeah, we're going to go everywhere. Of course we're not. We're not going to go everywhere. We need to redo Spondon again, but that'll be a challenge in itself these days. And by challenge, of course, there's still not a very good calling service. And B, I told the taxi driver to do one. Sucks to be them, but there we are. I never paid them. And it wouldn't be on the issue station like Redcar, no. Is Redcar British Steel actually still going? And by that I mean the plant and not the station. Is Redcar British Steel itself actually still going? Bye, Paul. Yeah, I need to get Nottingham at some point. I've got to figure out pricing. That'll be good via Leicester. As long as the middle of mainline doesn't sod up. So basically what we're saying there then, Train Sim, is the station's there, the plant isn't. Well, what good's that? It's like saying, for example, the old steel Worcester randomly fucked off and then Worcester Shopware opens the day after. It wouldn't work. Mind you, Worcester's not going to fuck off anywhere, is it? That'd be too much effort. Oh, the Wainfleet did, but that was flooding. They're not allowed back in till next week. Oh, Shane's popped on, hello. Yeah, with the Wainfleet news, the line's back open. There's a couple of damaged crossings. I think Limbank is one of them. I'm not sure whether the others Brewster Lane, Matpits Lane, or Thorpe Culvert. Or even Wainfleet itself, because I don't remember if the timing point there used to work, or whether trains have never actually reported at Wainfleet. Because it could actually be Wainfleet and Limbank. even though they're quite far from each other. Heart of England covers Cheltenham, Hereford, Shrewsbury, Crewe, Chester, Nottingham, Matlock, Leicester, Dover, Rugby and Oxford. Wonderful. If Nottingham pops up, call me along. Yeah, I know Matt Pitts was part of the main flooded area. The main two that appeared outside of the aerial image was Matt Pitts and Brewster Lane. Then the image I received was Lynn Bank. Then you wonder about Thorpe Culvert and that, don't you? Havenhouse was closer out, but is Havenhouse actually flooded? Or was that literally dry lands and no service whatsoever? Because we didn't hear anything about that. What's this? Is this about Wainfleet? Oh, Redcar. Yeah, we know. Persons for Scunthorpe after Redcar British Steel closed. We're not going to learn sod all, are we? We've got Brexit that's been going on for 3 years now. We've not moved an inch. And then, of course, is these Brexiters saying, let's leave Europe! You can't. You cannot leave an actual physical area, such as, what are we, a continent? I'm going to have to Google this because I failed geography. Yeah, you can't leave a flipping continent. Let's leave Europe. Fuck off. Yes, some trains have started running to Titherington, which is where, of course, What's-Its-Face failed in Will Scriven the other day. Iron Acton was fine. It was What's-Its-Face that failed afterwards with a 28-minute closure, and the barrier still didn't go up. I've totally forgotten its bloody name, but it was something complicated. I'll pull up his page, see if I can find it, unless someone else replies the name beforehand. No, I've just put an O in his name. Well, it's not Purton, is it? His picture's no change to Iron Acton, along with his cover. Where are we? Oh, Latteridge. Yeah, it was that one that broke down, Latteridge. But rumour has it that there's still people waiting to use Latteridge Crossing with the barriers still down. It could actually be reality. No, the UK is not actually connected to Europe, but we are still counted in the continent. And we can't physically leave a continent classification. It's like these that say goodbye America, hello New York, you're still in America. This world is so bloody stupid, I want to fucking get off. Can someone make it stop? Good God. Yeah, the area is completely solid up, Shane, but we won't know the full-on damage until, like, people are like, back in their housing again. So I know there's still some areas that are still like, don't come! Don't know exactly where, but I think it's still the centre of Wainfleet. What you say after the crossing, there was an indicator which shows the barriers have raised. If it doesn't light up, the train should stop. Point there. What if the bulb blew? You got to think of that. It sounds daft and it sounds too precautionary, but what if that said bulb blew? If they were able to compete in next year's UEFA European Championship 2020 football, well, it won't come home, will it? It didn't last year. We went home. And we'll go home again, probably. Because we're not good at anything, England, we're not. We don't know any sort of geography because we think we can physically leave a continent. We think safety is overcrowding. We think reducing a service helps during a major event. And some of us can't count to 20. Yeah, the indicators might be tested, but it's like I say, what if after testing, said bulb then blew? And actually, there is some other crossings down that other way from Titherington that I don't think Will Scriven's got yet. I found them the other day. I don't remember what they're called, but there's one on Google that has a wigwag leaning over towards the floor, like further bent than Barbie Road. I don't know if he's picked up on that one yet. I don't know if that's Titherington area or that's further away from Yate. I suppose we'll never know because no one does these walk-arounds anymore to say exactly where they've been. Yeah, it was Latteridge that fell, but then, of course, we don't know about the other side of the situation, do we? Don't know if said bulb that you claim of like whether the barriers went back up again blew out. We'll never know, but like I say, rumour has it, there's still people waiting for the barriers to go up now, almost, 48 hours later. Mind you, it's worse than Kiln Lane when that failed on camera. We saw that wasn't set up. Because there'd have been safety checks before the line was reopened again that day. What do you think? It was just a little track circuit fault. They can happen. Would it have affected all crossings in the same direction, though? Actually, no, it wouldn't, would it? Because Woad Lane turned out fine. We've got a train heading towards Immingham down there. But then on the other hand, we got a train heading that other direction. Actually, no. No, all the first two trains we caught were heading the same way, weren't they, towards Immingham? There's only one that we got away, and that timed Kiln Lane out. So is it that the line can't really run bi-directionally anymore? Or what is it? Yeah, exactly. The story you've just posted, Trainson, where it says here, members of the RMT union said they had solid support. If it was solid support, why are the stations packed? And why is 1 in every 3 conductors still working? South Western says that extra evening trains are running between Waterloo and Reading. Well, there was going to be. Oh yeah, I would say I've been bugged by Spider-Man, but good God, no, I've already handed him into the Bobo. We got a station platform break. Yes, struggling to get to and from work. Yes. South Western said it would look at increasing stopping services at Surbiton during the period of the strike. Well, there would have been more stopping services at Surbiton if the strike didn't happen. Passengers are strongly advised to avoid busy peak periods and travel on earlier or later trains with a reduction in services at key stations. Well, it's not the operator's fault because they wanted to provide additional services during busy peak periods and early and later trains than in the timetable. Get back to this chat, hang on, it's just going to fly up ahead of me. Yeah, your mood was active 3 minutes, but that was without a train. I'll try and catch that in August, I think. Is it August when it's due? I think it is. I'll try and clobber it. Be rude not to. Oh, you found the sectional appendix, have you? I've got some local ones here somewhere. The driver must ensure that the beam indicator illuminates by the time their locomotive passes it. Another thought on that, though, like, if the bulb blew, what also if the locomotive already passes that, but is still on the level crossing? Because there's always that chance as well. Because you've got to think deep into something to end up finding any answer whatsoever. RMT said that staff have been left with no choice but to strike and accuse South Western of guaranteeing guard rolls. Right. Guard rolls were guaranteed during 2018, and the RMT publicly came out to say that they'd agree and discontinue. They were left with every choice to not ensure a safety breach during a major event, but they went against it. Oh, the armed surface from no road back and refusing to rule out future driver only. Well, maybe you should speak to the Department for Transport who wants these changes. The operator has no say in the real world. You do, but you're choosing to ignore it and throw it backwards. Mick Cash says the company dragged the rails and feet to bolt an agreement that matches the expectations of the guard guarantee. The company refused to give assurances. Well, that's a lie for a start. The company refused to give assurances of future operational roles. No, they did not. Roll yourself back about 70 days. We're back again. This is like a sit-down strike. If after 1 minute the EBU indicator does not illuminate, the guard must advise the signaller at Bristol signal box. The train may then proceed normally. But like I say again, what if the train's already passed that mark, but is still on the level crossing by pure chance? Then how would that work? How would that actually come into place if the train is longer than anticipated? And whilst anybody's still here, if they're still around, because they've been kicked off twice, no problem of my own. Yeah, all are cancelling. They haven't got they've already got the HST out. Yeah, we say that though, Brad, of course, but let's say, for example, it's half an American-sized freight train, and the freight train going through Latteridge is about 1.5 miles long. For example, it would have already passed the BU indicator while still on the level crossing. So how then would that come into play? Because you've always got to think outside the box to get any sort of resolution, which nobody seems to do anymore. I don't know if I don't think Latteridge is regularly used because I didn't originally ever hear of it. When I was writing Joe's UK crossing lists way back, what, a good 2 years ago now, back in one November or other, I don't remember ever reading that one through. So it might have been a mothball line that was removed from most databases and then only redone recently, as well as no public knowledge whatsoever except for local residents. That might be the problem. Yeah, West Brex, the Cotton station line, is now completely mothballed. Unless the proposed charter I was talking about on the community post does actually come into action. But then's the case, of course, if it picks up at Retford, do we pre-book tickets and ride it round the power station, or do we use that as the final chance to grab both Leverton and West Breck? I think I might just do the crossings and race the cunt down. Actually, that might be the only time to get a group round. Because it'll be the last time anyway. Because the proposal, when the power station's gone, demolished and gone out of it, is housing estate. But then, of course, with the giant road bridge over that railway at the power station, where the road for the O's is going to go. Yeah, Titherington's only recently been reopened, so that's why there's no public database for it. If I do a search now, yeah, there's no ABC page for Latteridge or Iron Acton and all that lot. So it would have only been, like, fully recent. Yeah, you say so in the 56s, it'd have to be GB's talks, all of the terminals closed. The Freightliner terminal closed, what, 2 years ago already? And the Deutsche Bahn cargo terminal closed last year. And then at the same time, all the coal hoppers were dumped at Worksop, which has since all gone for scrap, to make way for Harry Needle's yard, full of Elizabeth Line 345s and a couple of Mark IV carriages. I say couple, there's about 18 there at the minute. On that, Kent, have you got access to, like, a named unit database and we can see if there's anything listed down called Cotton Power Station? If not, that'd be quite suiting to send that one round. In the December, a temporary block had been put 40 trains along the line, which is expected. Like, if they decide to randomly run another train round Cotton before the power station is shut in September, that would most likely be under temporary conditions. Yeah, point was saying, and Brad, they're not on ABC, so wouldn't be too much knowledge of them still existing down the Titherington line. Other than, of course, the videos that have appeared from Iron Acton and Latteridge. Everything else down that way, we haven't a clue what it's called, we haven't a clue how to get there, without directly pinpointing on a map itself. Mind you, then it sends you into a dead end. Just like most maps do if you search for, say, Retheringham Station, it sends you around the back of an estate and not into the station car park. Because there, on most maps at Retheringham, there's no road on the map that drives you into the station car park, so it sends you around the back of the estate, which is a bit stupid. There we are. Maps never were cut out to be very good. Has everybody run away? Never mind. So nobody wants a full-on crew plan. Sucks to be them. Oh, you're still here, are you, Ken? Wonderful. Unless my count has gone wrong because it keeps throwing people off every half an hour. Most of the next day will probably be gone anyway. What do you mean, no? I'll find the page I sent into my Discord and read that over with the actual base plan of the main event. Actually, here's the bit I've currently got. I'll read this public for anybody watching back over, if I do happen to need this up, which I think I will. And, like, any such as interest in Sam who's not contacting me on the side for his attendance, whether he's going or not. What we've got, of course, is 2 hours at crew itself, 1100 through to 1300. If I do leave Newark at 8 o'clock, which would be a damn bloody push, I can hear that much. Because my most recent up times, awake-wise, are between 8:30 and 9. And to even make the train, I would need to be up earliest of 6:30 to leave for 7:20. We're not expecting no freight in that time, but what do we know? Will we even get there? Or will my Sleaford Leicester train be pulled due to a shortage of train guards. Mind you, it wouldn't surprise me. Actually, that's an idea. I'll see if I can send a link over to this piece here, and then you can look over what I've put in the Discord server in a short piece. See if that link's accessible. And basically, if that works, that should give a little bit of a plan of what I've stuck in the Discord server. Such as like then Stoke around half 1 to half 2, depending whether you get on the London North Western or the East Midlands to take that couple of stops. Mind you, we will pass Foley Box near Stoke-on-Trent. Oh yeah, I've got one spare Intercity badge. I'll bring that along. There's a couple still on eBay. If I had the effort, I'd find the link. Already sent one to Alban anyway, my server manager. And I've still got 2 spare, but I'm going to keep one back for temporary purposes anyway, in case mine breaks. It's only a couple of quid on eBay. They're from some badge shop or other. Don't remember the name. I bought it ages ago. But there'll be one available. And that'll probably be arranged at crew itself. I need to get hold of Ben Fisher, but he's not bothered to pick up my message. Have you got him on socials at all, James? Or is he not on your socials? Because I sent a message way on Saturday, reiterating something that I stated further along, but I've not ever heard back. It's like you send a message, it's gone through, but he never reads it. Up. See whether he's doing Saturday or not, because I've had absolutely nothing back. Yeah, if you can get hold of Ben Fisher, then that's a plus or a minus. You send a message, it sits there, unread. Oh, he's just put a video out now. Rog's third DRS 57, Pendolino renamed, 6587 new livery, and West Coast mainline closure update. Well, that's all fine and good, but nothing about my West Coast mainline thing this weekend. It's just generally annoying. You send a message, it sits there unread forever. It's like sending a deleted or deactivated a counter message because you're not going to ever hear back. But yeah, if you can get hold of him, just see what his response is, whether he's coming this week or not. Because like I said, I dropped a message, never heard back. And this was sent last Saturday. It's Thursday now. So, what's the story in Balamory? Nobody knows. Even Miss Uli doesn't know. Nobody knows what the story is. So what are we supposed to do if we ain't got a bloody clue? I'll see if he's even got back to me at all. I'll check my messenger. Hang on. You might hear some bleeps and bloops in the background. But I doubt he's got back. No, it's just Richard. Let's see. There we are, Ben Fisher. I sent the message on Saturday at 14:07. It's Thursday at 22:53. Not even read. Not even looked at. Not seen whatsoever. So what do we do? Because he said he'd get back to me nearer the time, so I've sent a message nearer the time for the get back. Nothing's appeared. Not even seen. Be nice if he was available though. I'd have a reason to go. Oh, this chap does. Hang on, the South Coast. Have the special badge. I might get hold of Ben Fisher's comments on his new video after I finish this. It might be the only better way to get a response. Like I say, it's just a general inconvenience in reality. Oh, level cross. Fucking hell. Fire. That's a full map. Oh, that's not good. The map misses some. Where's the cross? I can't see it. Yeah, this map misses Boston Bypass and Boston London Road. So it's not very good, is it? Like, it might have some good information there, but it's not very accurate. I'm going to just shut the thing down. If I can find Yate on a map, I'll have a look. Here we are, Yate. What's this? Oh, Celestine Road. We've got Frampton Cotterell. We've got Iron Acton Station, which was the local one-up train driver. We've got Iron Acton Bypass, which hasn't been picked up. There's Latteridge. Where's the main road? I know I found some more. I do not have a link to any sexual appendix now. I got a disc with someone from years ago. I got some printed off behind me somewhere. They're very old. They're from 2009. Yeah. Austria before either I or the stream kicks you off. The crew thing is 11 till 1 at crew. Half 1 till half 2 at Stoke. It should be achievable for most people. If you're coming from up north, get your tickets for Stoke if you're doing the old thing. If you're coming from south, get your tickets for crew. Go via Stoke on your way in. Sexual appendix. Basically information regarding the line and the area. I've got plenty printed off. I've got the old Brayford, the modern day LHS, Bootham, Doddington, Great Northern Terrace. I don't think I've got any for Metheringham though. I don't know how far out I got. I think I might have got an AHB in there somewhere. I wouldn't call it a sketch, but it basically is. Just in print. Like it's been in a Microsoft Visor or something, whatever it's called. I drew a shop on that years ago. It never opened because it wasn't real. This will be a boring watch for anybody watching it back, but there we are. What I'll just reiterate from, I think, what I've done on a recent community post, any high-end donations, say what, £10 plus, will be forwarded to Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital charity. Any low-end, I'll keep myself to reinvest. So any donations £10 plus will be going to the hospital, any less will be reinvested into the page. What's this? Another link. What's this? Sexual appendages. That wasn't a word, appendages. Yeah, reinvest. Good God, it's got 11 million pages. Oh, there's interesting, Sam. I thought he'd appear sometime today. Only 73 minutes behind, but there we are. We can stick around. The world ain't going to end yet. Should have ended in 2012. The movie was a lie. Yeah, 11 million pages on that sexual appendix. 1,198. Imagine printing all that. You need about 20 packs of paper. Oh, mine are in A5, and that would be a hell of a lot of paper. I think mine are about 4 or 5. Mine are about, what, 2-3 pages? Double-sided. Well, no, I was waiting for your attendance status for this weekend, actually, Sam, and the finalised plan that we've got. Like, you know me times are where I should be if I set off on time, which is highly unlikely. Because there might be a crash at a roundabout. There might be a rail incident. Could be anything, but, yeah. If I leave Newark 8 o'clock, I should be fine. Should be fine. Don't hold me to it, it probably won't happen. We say you're feeling sick, can't sleep. Well, welcome to my world. I'm sick every day and I don't sleep. There we are. I ain't slept for over 19 years. Don't know how I'm still alive. Must be magic. And I think that's a song, but I can't remember if it is or not. Where's Google? Yeah. Good God. Tina Marie. From 1981. I've never even heard of it, I don't think. I might have, but I don't recall the artist. Okay. I didn't think you would be down for it anyway. Just a case of finding out. Like I say, I've got no other choice now. I would have this time last week. You know, I said I was given notice of cancellation as early as April. That fell right on its head. Because that went past. In came June. And now in comes the final near enough 24 hours. And I'm still literally sat on the fence post full of splinters. I don't know what I'm actually doing. So yeah, what we'll end up saying is if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. So at the end of the day, it's not really anybody's problem, is it? If we leave it as if it happens, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. There's not really no blame. Has anyone got hold of Ben Fisher yet? Or have you sent the message waiting for pigeon mail? I think we're probably just waiting for pigeon mail. Has anything been sent directly towards him, Richard, and it's got like the blue dot and the tick saying, yep, it's gone, but like nothing's come from it? Let's say bacteria mail. I'd say slow motion reverse mail. It's like it's been seen and then it unsends it, except it doesn't unsend because they haven't seen it in the first place. I'm going to pester his comments, I think, after this. Be the only bloody way. Because like we both said we'd give notice beforehand of any changes. I've heard nothing, but I still like the notice. Yeah, but if you ever had a contact, Bradley, where like you've sent a message, but they've never got back whatsoever. Only time they'll ever get back if you spammed them. And then they'll probably be telling you to fuck off anyway, so you can't win. You say we got a response. What's it say? Your message could not be delivered. We are sorry for this. Yeah, it's yelling timber, Sam. What, you spammed him, Kent? Probably the best option these days. Mind you, the Braves are practically on flipping permanent strike anyway. Only time I show the face when there's a smell in the air. Yeah, it's more annoying, Brad, when nobody ever responds. Like, I was as quick as lightning to winning the Infotech competition. Even though I doubted it, I emailed them within 5 minutes of receiving the direct message. So he's in Blackpool. Well, why didn't he say? Why didn't he say whatsoever? Never mind. People never were very good, were they? But why did he never tell me? Why did he never tell anybody? Why is it pigeon mail where the dog eats it? No, you got Toy Story 4 at 11 hours. Yeah, I ain't even bothered to see that. I'll see if the DVD comes out and watch it then. One I watched in the cinema many years ago that's never come out on DVD is Selma. That's never been out on DVD from what I recall. It was in cinemas about 2, 3, 4 years ago already, and I've never seen it in the shops. Not once. What the hell happened to it? Like, it's on YouTube for £3.49. It's on Netflix. But it's never come out on DVD. First released in 2014. But why has it never been a DVD? Because we don't all have YouTube or Amazon Prime subscriptions. Later, Brad. No, I can't see messaging. I've got both devices set up. Hang on. I can't, unfortunately. I'm in Blackpool that day on the tramway. Well, it's useful saying that now. Mind you, it's like this Brexit thing. You say it was advisory at the time of it cast. Then afterwards, new Prime Minister comes in and says, no, it was compulsory. Whoever voted, voted. Everything else doesn't matter. You can't do that. Well, they can and they did, but that's not the point. I think what we'll say, for crew itself, as we're just here sodding about, is we'll arrive 4:11. I think what we'll do, I'll sod about in the ticket office, then I might pop down to the southern side of platform 6. Maybe. Then we might go to the northern side at 12. And then by 1:45-ish, we move along for our train, the 13:01 London Northwestern to London Euston via Northampton. Because that seems like an idea. So we start on the southern side, move to the northern, then go back southern and sod off. Because that seems logical. Yeah, what you could have done, James, is what I suggested to Richard, is you arrive a bit earlier at Nottingham, pick up the Matlock train, then you get about 20 minutes or so at Spondon, then pick my train up on the way up again. Then you pick that on your way up. Instead of like a arrive, depart tick, you would have arrived, got off, depart tick. Which would work with the crew line if there was more traffic, but there isn't. If you want to donate, you can do, Sam. We're on £2.30, which is just straight into my pocket at the end of it. Oh, you're leaving at 04:55 because, yeah, you're due to clock in at 4:30, aren't you? Which is way too early. Mind you, we've got to get the night teams working. We can't pull them on strike because it's too early in the day. Yeah, chuck some pennies in the pot. 79p plus is your limit. Your lowest limit. Also, yeah, of course, you probably noticed with the Leverton video, I'm going to try a new upload time to try and hit the highest viewpoint, which currently lies between 1900 and 2000 hours, so videos will be at least an hour later. Just to keep with the view flow and make sure they get through to people. Because the notifications are absolutely terrible. Like, if this stream was to be 5 hours earlier, notifications would probably go round. People wouldn't give a flying monkeys. Or only 10% would bother to click. Notifications do nothing, so you've got to hit the highest viewpoint on the head, which currently would be 7 PM. So videos will just naturally be an hour later out, which would work specifically for this weekend, because I wouldn't be back until after 5, which would give me time to edit at least one of the videos together ready to throw out for 7. But I think that'll do is we've got the crew plan, if anyone was writing that down. We'll start on the southern side of the station for 11, move to the northern for 12, back to the southern again, and then get on our train for Stoke. And there, as we've only got an hour, I think what we'll do there... Which way's Derby? Is it platform 2 or platform 1? I think it's 1, isn't it? So what we do there is half an hour at the top of the platform with platform 3 to get the Congleton train. Then get back on the other side, ready for our train back to Derby. Okay. But I think I'll throw this off here before everyone fucks off. But yeah, that's the crew plan. Let's take it as we have it and leave the rest of it. Let's take what we've got, figure the rest on the day through's there. What's this thing's up like a pogo stick? So yeah, I'll chuck his off. I will keep this stream up for reference purposes. If anyone wants to mark in the comments where the crew plan's mentioned after the stream's up, I'll stick in the description ready for Anyone else who's popping on afterwards. So before this count jumps around even further, we're going to sack it off. So thanks for joining us for the past 87 minutes for the majority of you. This was practically just staring at a screen with numbers bouncing up and down on it, but it's better than nothing. Because a whole dark view means we're exposing some cunt, and the lies might happen again soon. We'll have to see.